Egypt is renowned for its majestic pyramids, intricate hieroglyphs, and captivating mythology. However, there are also peculiar customs and rituals that might seem grim by today's standards. From scarification to mummification, ancient Egyptians led a way of life that both fascinates and terrifies us. In this video, we will delve into the 10 most terrifying practices that were considered normal in ancient Egypt and uncover their cultural significance. Sacred animals. Ancient Egyptian society deeply revered animals, which held significant roles in their religious and cultural traditions. Many cults were dedicated to specific animals thought to embody the qualities of gods or goddesses, including creatures like crocodiles, lions, cats, and birds. While modern people might find this unsettling, understanding these practices offers valuable insights into ancient Egyptian beliefs. Temples often housed these cults, where devotees made offerings and performed rituals to honor animals seen as manifestations of the gods. For example, the Apis bull was linked to the god Ptah in Memphis, and the crocodile god Sobek was worshipped in Crocodilopolis. Ritual sacrifices were essential to these cults. Animals, carefully selected and raised, were offered to appease the gods, provide protection, and bring prosperity. They were adorned with valuable items, treated with respect, ritually purified, and then sacrificed. Their bodies were mummified and buried in sacred necropolises. Large numbers of mummified animals found in burial sites highlight the scale and importance of this practice in ancient Egypt. Cannibalism. The topic of cannibalism in ancient Egyptian society sparks much debate among historians and archaeologists. While some evidence suggests such practices existed, it is unclear if they were isolated incidents or part of a broader tradition. Certain texts, like the pyramid texts, hint at cannibalism. For instance, the cannibal hymn in Pharaoh Unus's tomb describes the king consuming parts of gods to gain divine power. Most scholars believe these texts are metaphorical, symbolizing a desire for divine power and eternal life rather than actual cannibalism. Additionally, scarce archaeological evidence, such as human remains with signs of dismemberment and decapitation, suggests possible cases of cannibalism. However, this evidence is not definitive and may represent isolated incidents, ritual practices, or extreme conditions like famine. Ritual practices. The afterlife was central to ancient Egyptian culture and religion, with funerary texts playing a crucial role in preparing for the journey after death. These texts, often found on tomb walls, papyrus scrolls, or burial objects, were meant to guide and protect the deceased through the complex and dangerous afterlife. Ancient Egyptians used various funerary texts like the pyramid texts, coffin texts, and the Book of the Dead, which contained spells, prayers, and rituals to help the deceased overcome obstacles in the afterlife. These texts addressed challenges such as the judgment before Osiris, where the heart was weighed against the scales of truth, and the treacherous journey through the underworld. Specific spells ensured access to food and water, protection from evil spirits, and the ability to transform into different creatures to aid in the journey. Additionally, they included instructions on proper behavior to gain favor with the gods and secure a place in eternal paradise. Sibling marriages. Incestuous marriages, especially between pharaohs and their siblings, were a significant part of ancient Egyptian society. Though it may seem unusual to us today, these marriages were integral to the social, political, and religious life of the time, serving specific purposes in ancient Egypt's complex world. Pharaohs were seen as divine beings descended from the gods, earthly incarnations of divine power tasked with maintaining the world order, known as Ma'at. Marrying siblings, who were also considered of divine origin, preserved the bloodline's purity and ensured their offspring inherited divine status. These sibling marriages also had political advantages, strengthening alliances, preventing power struggles, and preserving the royal family's continuity. Siblings were expected to remain loyal to the crown, minimizing the risk of treachery or rebellion. This practice helped maintain a stable, centralized power structure and strengthened the royal line. Cultural norms and beliefs in ancient Egypt justified these incestuous marriages. Many Egyptian myths and religious texts depicted divine sibling couples, such as Isis and Osiris. By emulating these divine relationships, the pharaoh reinforced his godlike status and power. Mummification. In ancient Egypt, mummification was crucial for preparing the deceased for the afterlife. Skilled embalmers, often priests or elite representatives, performed this complex and labor-intensive procedure. While today the practice may seem gruesome, it was deeply rooted in Egyptian religious beliefs and cultural traditions. The mummification process involved several intricate stages, taking up to 70 days. First, the body was washed and cleaned. The brain was delicately extracted through the nose with special hooks, and the liver, lungs, stomach, and intestines were removed via an incision on the left side of the abdomen. These organs were either stored in canopic jars or wrapped in linen and placed back into the body cavity. Next, the body was dehydrated using natron, a natural salt, for about 40 days to remove moisture and prevent decay. After dehydration, the body was cleaned again and coated with oils to protect the skin. Finally, the corpse was wrapped in several layers of linen bandages, with protective amulets and talismans placed between layers. The bandages were then sealed with resin or gum to keep the body intact for its journey to the afterlife. Ancient Egyptian medicine. Ancient Egyptian medicine is a fascinating blend of science, magic, and religious beliefs. The healers and doctors of that era were renowned for their knowledge and skills, often employing complex rituals and various medicinal ingredients in their treatments. Among these were parts of the human body, a practice that seems eerie and frightening to us today. To understand this practice and ancient Egyptian medicine as a whole, it is essential to explore the reasons behind it. Ancient Egyptian healers believed that the human body had powerful healing properties. This belief was tied to sympathetic magic, an idea prevalent in many ancient cultures. It was thought that fragments of deceased people's bodies, especially those with special qualities or abilities during their lifetime, could transmit these properties to the living. As a result, various human tissues, bones, and fluids were used for treatment. For instance, skull fragments or bone powder were considered effective for treating headaches, while human fat was used in balms and ointments for wound healing and skin conditions. Mummies, believed to be a powerful source of healing energy, were ground into powder and used as an ingredient in medicines for various ailments. The Nile River. The Nile River was the lifeblood of ancient Egyptian civilization, crucially shaping its culture, economy, and daily life. Its importance is immense, as it provided essential resources and dictated the rhythm of life in Egypt. By exploring the Nile's impact, we can better appreciate its vital role in the rise and sustainability of ancient Egyptian society. The annual Nile floods were the primary source of fertility for Egyptian agriculture, depositing nutrient-rich silt on the riverbanks and enabling the cultivation of wheat, barley, and flax. Agriculture formed the backbone of Egypt's economy, and the predictable flooding allowed for the development of advanced farming techniques, fostering a prosperous and stable civilization. Additionally, the Nile was the main transportation route, facilitating the movement of goods and people along its length. It connected various settlements and cities, boosting trade, communication, and cultural exchange. Boats made from wooden planks or papyrus transported raw materials like stone and wood, as well as finished goods such as food, textiles, and pottery. Dental care. In ancient Egypt, dental care was crucial for health, reflecting advanced oral hygiene for its time. While modern dentistry has progressed, studying ancient Egyptian dental health offers insights into their daily life, diet, and medical practices. Dental issues were mainly caused by a carbohydrate-rich diet, including bread and beer, and the presence of grit in food, leading to decay, gum disease, and tooth wear. To address these issues, ancient Egyptian dentists used various methods and tools to alleviate pain and treat dental diseases. The Ebers Papyrus and the Edwin Smith Papyrus, the most extensive medical texts from ancient Egypt, describe dental procedures and remedies. These included the use of honey and herbs for their antimicrobial properties, tooth extraction, and treatment of abscesses. Archaeological finds like bronze forceps and bone or ivory toothpicks further prove the existence of dental treatments. Retainer sacrifice. One of ancient Egypt's most horrifying customs was burying servants alive with their masters, known as retainer sacrifice. This brutal ritual aimed to ensure a prosperous afterlife for the deceased. While it may seem monstrous today, it reflected the beliefs of the time. Common during Egypt's early dynastic period, 3100 to 2686 BCE, retainer sacrifices were typically performed in the burials of high-ranking individuals like pharaohs and dignitaries. Egyptians believed the afterlife mirrored earthly life, so to ensure a comfortable afterlife, loyal servants and sometimes pets were sacrificed to accompany the deceased. Many skeletons have been found in burials from this period, showing the practice's prevalence. The servants were often killed using poison or other methods that minimized visible damage, as preserving their appearances was important for the afterlife. Over time, this ritual changed. Instead of sacrificing servants, Egyptians began placing small figurines called ushabti in the tombs. Carved from stone, wood, or faience, these figures were magical substitutes for servants, inscribed with spells to come to life in the afterlife and perform tasks for the deceased. I hope you enjoyed our video. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more educational content like this. Thanks for watching.